I didn't plan on staying long at the party. It was one of those rooftop scenes my friend Malik dragged me to, full of overpriced cocktails and people pretending to network. But then I saw her. She wasn't trying to be the center of attention, just leaning against the railing, sipping something clear, eyes locked on the skyline like it held answers. Her presence pulled me in before I could even process what I was doing. She looked at me, smirked like she'd read my whole life story, and said, "You look like you hate small talk." That was it. I was hooked. Welcome to Reddit Tales. Make sure you like and subscribe for your top-notch Reddit drama. Her name was Cassie. At least that's what she said. She was sharp, funny, the kind of girl who could shut a guy down with one sentence, but chose not to. We talked for hours, switching between deep confessions and jokes that had no business being that funny. At one point, she asked me if I ever met someone and just clicked. I told her I felt it right then. She didn't respond, just took another sip and smiled at me like I'd said something dangerous. The night blurred from that point. The music faded, our laughter got louder, and the drinks kept flowing like someone forgot to cut us off. Next thing I remember, we were in a cab. She kissed me halfway through the ride, and we barely made it to the hotel before it got out of hand. There was something urgent in how she touched me, like she needed to forget something or someone. But in that moment, I didn't care. I felt wanted. Not in a cheap way, not like a one-night stand, but something weirdly emotional for two strangers who hadn't known each other for more than 6 hours. Her head on my chest afterward felt like the start of something. I know how that sounds. Naive. But you weren't there. You didn't hear her laugh when I told her I couldn't believe this was happening. You didn't see the way her eyes softened when she looked at me in the dark. She wasn't pretending, or so I thought. That night felt like fate punched through reality just for us. I didn't want it to end. I didn't want morning to come. When I woke up, the sunlight was slanting through the blinds in thin, unforgiving streaks. Cassie was already awake, sitting at the edge of the bed with her back to me, wearing nothing but the hotel robe. Her hair was slightly damp. She must have taken a quick shower, and her phone screen lit up in her hand like it held bad news. She turned it off quickly, too quickly, then glanced over her shoulder with a half smile that didn't reach her eyes. Something was different. Her energy wasn't as wild and free as the night before. She looked scared, maybe even sorry. She crawled back into bed like nothing was wrong, and I didn't press her. I should have, but I didn't want to ruin the afterglow. We talked lazily for a while, mostly about silly stuff, movies, music, her favorite cereal growing up. Every now and then, her voice would dip like she was zoning out, and she'd catch herself and reel it back in. I kept convincing myself I was overthinking it, but that face, just for a second when she thought I wasn't looking, was guilt. Heavy and raw. When checkout time rolled around, we both got dressed, still joking like we were in some quirky indie film. I wanted to ask her to come home with me or at least grab lunch, but instead I asked if we could exchange numbers and meet again soon. Her answer was instant. Yes, definitely. Let's do next weekend? She sounded a little too eager, like she needed to prove something. I ignored that part too. I typed in her number and she texted me right away so I'd have hers. Outside the hotel, we hugged. She lingered, her arms wrapped tight around me like she didn't want to let go. It felt real. I stood there after she walked off, watching her blend into the crowd, wondering what I'd just stumbled into. I didn't care how fast it all happened. I felt something. Something alive. Something honest. Or at least I thought I did. The whole ride home, I kept replaying the night in my head. I even smiled like an idiot at nothing. For the first time in a long time, I thought I might have actually found something, or someone that made sense. I started calling her that Monday. Not obsessively, just once a day, maybe twice when I really missed her voice. At first, I chalked it up to timing, bad timing, work meetings, bad signal, maybe she lost her charger. Normal stuff. But after the third day with no reply, I started texting. Casual at first, "Hey, hope you're good." Then gradually more direct. Still nothing. No delivered check marks, no read receipts. It was like I'd been blocked, but that didn't make sense. She gave me her number. She told me to reach out. We planned next weekend. She looked me in the eye. By Friday, I was spiraling. I barely slept. I ran through every possibility. Had she gotten hurt? Maybe her phone got stolen. Maybe something really bad happened, something out of her control. I tried to stay calm, but every hour that passed made me feel like I'd imagined the whole thing. She didn't follow me on any social media, and I realized she never even gave me her last name. I had no address, no clue where she worked, nothing except a number that now led to silence. That weekend came, and I still showed up at the coffee shop near the hotel, just in case she remembered, just in case she showed up. I waited for 2 hours, bought coffee I didn't drink, stared at the door every time it swung open. I couldn't tell if I was angry or scared. The woman I met wasn't flaky. She wasn't the kind of person who'd vanish. Or maybe I was just too wrapped up in the version of her I wanted to believe in. I tried calling from a different number, twice. Still no response. I even checked the hotel records, pretending I lost a watch. No luck. Her name wasn't even listed in the system. That's when it hit me. What if Cassie wasn't even real? What if everything she told me was just a script? I felt sick. I scrolled through my call log like it could give me answers, but it was just my own voice on the voicemail, over and over, and still, nothing. The worst part wasn't losing her. It was not knowing why. What changed? Did I do something? Say something wrong? Or was I just a chapter she'd already planned to end? It had been almost 2 months since that night. I stopped calling eventually. Stopped texting too. But I never stopped wondering. Cassie, or whatever her real name was, lingered in the back of my mind like an unfinished sentence. Sometimes I'd dream of her, just walking beside me, laughing like she used to. Other nights I'd wake up sweating, her voice in my ear like a whisper I couldn't remember. I tried to move on, went on a couple dates, but no one else made me feel like she did. No one even came close. One Sunday morning, I was aimlessly scrolling through Instagram, clicking random tags, following breadcrumbs like a detective who didn't know what he was looking for. I ended up on a page that looked familiar. One of the girls from the party had posted a group picture. There she was, in the background. Her smile was unmistakable. I froze. She wasn't tagged, but I zoomed in and scanned the faces. A little deeper into the comments, I found someone who had tagged her name at Cassandra Loves Ray. My stomach dropped. I clicked. The account was private, but the bio hit me like a sucker punch. Future Mrs. Ray Carter, 6/15/25, countdown to forever. My breath caught in my throat. That was the exact weekend we were supposed to meet again. Her wedding day. She didn't ghost me because she was scared of feelings or needed time. She ghosted me because I was never supposed to exist beyond that night. I stared at the screen for what felt like an hour. Everything clicked into place. The way she held her phone that morning, the look in her eyes when she left, the urgency, the sadness. She knew it was goodbye before I ever did. She didn't need a new life. She was stepping into one that had already been planned. I was just a detour, an escape, a secret she probably pretended never happened. I didn't reach out, didn't comment, didn't like anything, didn't send a message. What was I supposed to say? Congratulations, I was your pre-wedding fling? No. I let her go the same way she let me go, without warning, without closure. I deleted her number that night, closed the chapter. The end. Please like and subscribe for more interesting stories.